No.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Philadelphia IFT hosted webinar on revolutionizing nutrition, introducing White Chlorella and GoldRella. This webinar has been sponsored by Daesang America. You're going to be learning about the groundbreaking advancements in microalgae-based nutrition. This webinar will provide an in-depth overview of White Chlorella and GoldRella, including their nutritional profiles, potential health benefits, and how they can revolutionize the way we approach nutrition. Our speaker, John Tenorio, is sales manager at Daesang America, and he has overseen sales and marketing efforts in the nutritional space for the past decade. He holds an international business background and specializes in understanding consumer behavior, market trends, and creating effective go-to-market strategies. In his spare time, John enjoys surfing and mastering new recipes in the kitchen. Welcome, John.
Thank you, Jerry, so much, and I appreciate the introduction. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining this webinar. We, Daesang Corporation, are excited to introduce these groundbreaking innovations in nutrition that we have developed over the years. And as Jerry has mentioned, they are White Chlorella and GoldRella. So these products represent a significant advancement in our approach to health and wellness, particularly in plant-based applications. And as mentioned before, these have been in development for quite a few years. So we're really excited to kind of bring this to the market and support our customers and as well consumers. With that being said, I'll dive into White Chlorella and GoldRella. And so moving forward. Oops, there we go. And just this will be a brief breakdown of what we'll be going over today. So first, we'll just do a brief company introduction on Daesang Corporation, which is based in South Korea. Next, we will discuss the innovative products that I have mentioned, White Chlorella and GoldRella, particularly highlighting their unique features and benefits. And lastly, we will open the floor for a Q&A session. You could ask any questions you may have about our company or the products that I have presented today. So with moving forward with the company introduction, Daesang has been a pioneer in the food industry since its establishment in 1956. Our general food business unit, which is seen here above, kind of a summary up here, has focused on developing products that prioritize health and nutrition, reflecting our commitment to enhancing Korean food culture. And as we expand our global food business, we are dedicated to making Korean cuisine popular around the world. And I'm sure, everyone has tried some kind of Korean cuisine in the past. And this also would involve launching unique products tailored to local tastes, as well as establishing our overseas bases and local plants to better serve our international customers. And these over here are our food brands. So these are kind of our B2C products. On the left-hand side here is just a photo of our Daesang Park, which is a newly constructed building, stands for Daesang Innovation Park, where kind of all the cool R&D stuff happened for Daesang. And then in addition to our food business, we do have a strong presence in the B2B ingredient space. So since 1964, Daesang has led the market through continuous research and development, as well as strategic investment in starch and sweeteners, as well as our biotechnology space, which includes amino acids and microalgae, which are produced via fermentation. As another part of our core strength and kind of our company value that we have, we pride ourselves on providing high quality ingredients across various sectors. So anywhere from processed foods to feed and pet foods, personal and cosmetics, as well as in nutrition and pharmaceuticals. Now, to make this possible, we rely on our organizational core strength of vertically integrating our supply chain. Now, with only the use of non-GMO corn as a basis, we are able to produce a plethora of ingredients for various applications and sectors, as mentioned. And this vertical integration also allows us to have flexibility in how we can support our customers all over the world. Though during this webinar, particularly, I will focus on over here, as I just circled in, our microalgae space. Now, to get into the interesting parts. So our focus is on revolutionizing nutrition, as I mentioned before in the title of our webinar today, particularly in the realm of plant-based foods and dietary supplements. Now, this is an exciting time for innovation in our industry. As we know, the popularity of plant-based supplements has grown exponentially, and we are committed to leading the way in providing high-quality, nutritious options for consumers. So let's explore how we can make a significant impact together. Now, White Chlorella and GoldRella are what we consider a one-stop shop vegan solution. These vegan products are microalgae, as mentioned specifically chlorella, which, as we know, particularly the green chlorella, Chlorella vulgaris, is known for its rich nutritional profile. This could be applied the same to White Chlorella and GoldRella. So we developed these products to support the rise in popularity of meat alternatives that cater to the growing demand for plant-based options. In addition to that, we have found that White Chlorella and GoldRella are perfect for applications such as plant-based egg patties, vegan cookies, and vegan cheese, which are all designed to provide delicious and sustainable choices for consumers. And lastly, we can't forget as well, plant-based dietary supplements, which are becoming increasingly popular as people look for healthier, more natural ways to support their wellness. We also do see a lot of consumers kind of moving away from animal-based ingredients or animal-based products. So this is kind of a way to support those types of consumers. Now, everyone might be asking, what exactly is White Chlorella, GoldRella? Where did it come from? So what we have developed here at Daesang, these are two microalgae that are developed using the chlorella strain, Chlorella protophycoides. And this was made through an in-house fermentation process. So our chlorella is actually cultivated in a completely closed system utilizing aseptic tank cultures. And this method ensures that the microalgae are grown using non-GMO breeding techniques, specifically through random mutagenesis and natural selection. And below here is a comparison of the two most common methods of producing chlorella. So on the left-hand side is what I mentioned, our closed cultivation system or our heterotrophic cultivation system. And this is the way that we use, that we actually produce our chlorella. And on the right-hand side, we see kind of the photoautotrophic cultivation system or open cultivation system, which kind of involves more of the organic chlorella side. They both have their advantages and disadvantages, as you can see below. I don't really want to kind of put one versus the other. But as an organization, we have found that the closed cultivation system to be better suited for our production. Now, with regards to the profile of White Chlorella and GoldRella, now, as I mentioned, they are made from the same strain of chlorella, Chlorella protophycoides. They have distinct properties that can be applied to various applications. So as we see with White Chlorella and GoldRella, they're both naturally rich in protein and fiber, containing up to 60% of protein and about 20% fiber as a composition. They both contain micronutrients for vegan that are important for vegan diets that sometimes are lacking, which I will go over in the next slides. They do have a very interesting characteristic that they could mask beanie flavors. So beanie flavors that are particularly common when using plant-based proteins such as pea protein or soy protein. GoldRella and White Chlorella can both help in kind of masking this taste in a natural way. Now, with the difference in size, and kind of it depends on what formulations you're looking for, White Chlorella could provide a more neutral taste and flavor. And as you know, as you could see in the slide, it is a white-based powder, so it could also lighten the existing color of foods, which also could be a perfect replacement for titanium dioxide. Whereas GoldRella actually provides more of an umami and saltiness to formulations, and also provides a natural bright yellow color that could be beneficial for kind of vegan foods, particularly, or plant-based foods, which I will also go over in the next couple of slides. And below is just a comparison. This was made actually by the National Food Lab that compares White Chlorella and GoldRella to soy and pea proteins. So we just broke down the protein solubility, the heat stability, the water holding capacity, the oil holding capacity, and the emulsion capacity. Now, as mentioned before, chlorella is known for having a rich nutritional profile, and we could say the same for white chlorella and GoldRella. These products are designed to fortify diets with essential nutrients that are naturally found in the product. So it's not like we're adding any of these vitamins into the product; they're just naturally found in there. And this supports obviously with a lot of plant-based products and foods that sometimes are lacking in those areas. Particularly now. White chlorella and GoldRella are found to fortify vitamin B12, which, as we know, is a tough vitamin to include in a vegan diet, particularly just because of a lot of animal-based. Vitamin B12 is found in a lot of animal-based products. It also has strong presence is vitamin B1 and folic acid, as we could see here. These are starred. They also, as mentioned before, they are rich in protein and dietary fiber, iron, magnesium, and zinc. And could provide a salty flavor with this low sodium content. So it gives that umami flavor through the amino acid content rather than the sodium content. And with regards to kind of the dosages for vitamin B12 to get your recommended daily dosages, we do recommend about 3.6 grams of white chlorella to meet this FDA recommended daily value, and 4 grams of GoldRella to meet the FDA's recommended daily value of vitamin B12. Yep. And just to go a little bit more into vitamin B12 and how critical of a nutrient it is for a lot of people, particularly for those with plant-based diets or vegan diets, this makes it crucial for vegans to actually use our products more particularly because they actually do support a more nutritious profile when they are actually consuming, their day-to-day foods. White chlorella and GoldRella provide a plant-based source of vitamin B12. These can fortify all different types of diets. It is important also as well to be aware of these vitamin B12 deficiencies, which some people are not even that aware of. So that includes anything from fatigue, weakness, neurological issues, such as memory and mood, impaired balance, decreased vision. And we also could see here kind of the additions. So if we were to add white chlorella and GoldRella in different dosages to plant-based meats, vegan cheese, egg alternatives, and cookies, we could see kind of the daily value of vitamin B12 that it could provide each product. And here are the serving sizes based on that. Again, this is kind of what we are looking for to aim and to support consumers with, to provide better nutritional value in food and alternative foods such as plant-based foods and vegan foods. Furthermore, they are designed to enrich the diet with 9 essential amino acids. So it does also include, apart from the vitamin and minerals, all 9 essential amino acids. And these are obviously, as we know, these are very important to incorporate into our meals. From proteins, they break down to the amino acids. So these are very important to have, and white chlorella and GoldRella does support, all 9 essential amino acids. Now, moving forward, I do want to break down a little bit more of white chlorella specifically, and then I will go into kind of the different applications of white chlorella, and after that, we'll go into kind of GoldRella and the different applications that are suited for GoldRella. So as we see here, white chlorella is particularly beneficial as an ingredient for kind of more neutral types of formulations. So color, taste, and odor of this is very neutral. So we could look for adding this in different types of supplements, but also foods as well too, because depending on the percentages of white chlorella that you do use, it could add potential benefits with texture, taste, and odor. And all of these white chlorella and GoldRella are vegan and non-GMO project verified. They don't contain any gluten or soy or dairy or preservatives. So that's something to look into too. And as mentioned now, you may be asking yourself, what would be an ideal application to use white chlorella in? So we have found that white chlorella, well, as well as GoldRella, depending on the taste profile needed for a specific product, can be an ideal addition to plant-based dietary supplements, such as plant-based proteins that use soy and pea proteins. As mentioned before, one of the standout features of White Chlorella and GoldRella is its beanie note masking effect. It significantly reduces undesirable flavors such as 2-hepatinone by 27%, which is over here, you could see, and 2-pentanylfuran by 12%. These are kind of the beanie notes that you taste when trying any kind of types of pea or soy proteins. And although we do have a patent pending for this still, this is something that we kind of developed to make it more palatable for consumers to consume. And we would recommend, particularly for any kind of plant-based protein powders, that we would about a dosage of about 20% of the solid material of the formulation. However, this could be adjusted based on the specific formulation needs and desired protein content. Now, another great application that we have found, particularly for White Chlorella, I mean, GoldRella could also be used for this, definitely, is that we found it beneficial in baked goods. So in this slide, we break down our tests in fortifying a sponge cake with White Chlorella. These sponge cakes are baked at high temperatures and have been found to maintain all the nutrients after heating. So there's no loss of nutrients that anyone needs to worry about when it comes to adding White Chlorella to a formulation in baking goods. And over here on the bottom, we could just see the control group and the nutrition facts based on this control group. And these are just adding White Chlorella at 3%, at 5%, and at 10%. You could see how the increase in fiber as well as protein is very notable in these formulations, well, as well as the vitamin B12 too. Another test that we have done with the applications for White Chlorella, particularly in GoldRella, are actually formulating cookies. So adding White Chlorella enhances sensory elements. It could also improve dough adhesion. It reduces cookie spreadability, so it kind of makes it more a compact cookie. It also contributes to a chewy texture as well too. Whereas with GoldRella, it does offer some similar benefits, but particularly it focuses on a more savory taste, so more of a saltiness and umami flavor to cookies. And as well as also, as you can see here, adds a brighter color to the product. And so these below over here, you can see these are two just recipes that we have done with the pictures kind of the control group versus adding the White Chlorella and GoldRella to these products. Now I'll briefly just kind of go into GoldRella specifically. And we consider GoldRella more of kind of an approach to vegan nutrition. It provides a sustainable and nutrient-rich alternative. So we believe that GoldRella is suitable for various plant-based food applications, which allows consumers to enjoy delicious meals by adhering to vegan lifestyles, plant-based lifestyles. And the different applications that we see here on the right-hand side are suitable for GoldRella. So anything from vegan beefs, chicken, pastas, egg replacements, cheeses, even to dietary supplements. Again, this is more unique as it has a more yellow color. So yellow, we considered it yellow chlorella until we started branding it GoldRella. But it has very, very, very flexible applications to be used in. And again, these are certified vegan and non-GMO project verified. So it is important to note as before, and the nutritional analysis for both are slightly different, although they come from the same strain. It is important to note that they do have different nutritional profiles. And we could see here with GoldRella, it contains about 60% protein, up to 20% on fiber, although overall it's 24% carbs, but 20% of that would be fiber. And we see here that this makes it a valuable addition to anyone's diet, particularly. For every 100 grams of GoldRella, we find significant amounts of glutamic acid at about 12.5 grams, and as well as arginine at 7.7 grams. And as I'm sure we all know, these amino acids play crucial roles in various bodily functions. And then moving forward onto the vitamins and minerals, we have detail on the table on the right-hand side. We could see that vitamin A is present at 20 micrograms, thiamine, so vitamin B1 at 10 milligrams, riboflavin, vitamin B2 at 6.3. And as mentioned before, notably with vitamin B12 at 60 micrograms, as well as vitamin C at 103 milligrams. Oops, sorry. Went to the wrong one there. So yeah, overall, this is kind of a very fully nutritious ingredient that could support a lot of different applications, as mentioned before. Now moving forward, this is specifically another kind of analysis done by National Food Lab. So the previous one I did show was particularly showing a lot of the comparing White Chlorella and GoldRella. However, this is showing GoldRella at different pHs. So the pH of 3.5, native is between 7 and 3.5, so it's about 5 pH, and the GoldRella pH 7 is the neutral. Compared to soy and pea protein, when it comes to the protein content, the protein solubility, the nitrogen stability, and the heat stability, and so on. We could see that they are quite easy to work with in that sense when compared to soy and pea protein. And the key features that we see with GoldRella are its water holding capacity, so it gives moisture and binding power to HMMA or TVPs, which I will go over in a little bit. As well, it does have an emulsion capacity, so it can be applied to emulsifying agents in various food applications. The protein nitrogen solubility, more protein fortification is always good. As we know, consumers nowadays are looking for more protein in all their foods and snacks, and as well as an appetizing color. So for this is key, I think, for a lot of plant-based foods and vegan foods. So it can give a more appetizing color and less concern for residual pesticides when compared to kind of food additives or food colorings like turmeric. Now the application tests that we have done by adding 1% of White Chlorella or GoldRella. These are particularly for GoldRella, actually. And it does improve a lot of sensory elements when it comes to adding anywhere between from 1% up to 20%, as we could see here in this chart. Again, this helps in masking beanie flavors from soy or pea proteins. So enhancing or the original flavor of the product or the product that it's trying to promote or replicate. Increases saltiness without the sodium. So with that umami taste, it provides a more salty taste, and also as well as improving texture. Now, please keep in mind that these are just really dependent on what kind of formulations and what kind of products you're aiming to do. But we do have a basis of recommendations, and we could help each other. We could help each other with different types of formulations that are needed. So we can see here with nutrition bars, we did find that anywhere from 10 to up to 30% of a formulation using GoldRella can improve a lot of the sweet and savory peanut butter lasting tastes, or kind of a roasted chestnut aftertaste, and also could be labeled as a good source of protein based on the content. So as mentioned, it's about 60% protein. So the more of it's added to the formulation, the more obviously could be cited in the nutrition facts. We also found with cheese crackers, it could perform as a MSG alternative. As we know, here, particularly in the US, MSG does have a little bit of a negative kind of perception. Although that being said, it is a great and versatile product. However, a lot of consumers are looking for different options to support their diets. And we also could see that GoldRella could work best with vegan chicken soups as well too. Again, as another MSG alternative, extra richness and mouthfeel, and that umami taste with less sodium. We also see with noodles, and which I've seen becoming more popular nowadays, a lot of these vegan types of noodles, konjac noodles, or different types of plant-based noodles that people want to move away from gluten. So this also works. GoldRella could also work as an MSG alternative with that extra richness and mouthfeel with that umami taste as well too. And as mentioned before, could also support using with baked goods such as sponge cakes, increases that density and hardiness and chewiness, and also providing a little bit of umami flavor. Now, furthermore, we see that GoldRella could also be used very well when making vegan cheeses, particularly vegan cheddar cheese. So here's a formulation that we have tested particularly for vegan cheddar cheese. So here, kind of on the left-hand side, we can see a control versus kind of adding GoldRella to this formulation. And overall, we see that depending on the need for the product, it could be anywhere. If we could add from anywhere from 5 to 15% of GoldRella of the original formulation. The benefits of using GoldRella, there wouldn't be any need for additional colors such as beta carotene when applying GoldRella to cheddar cheeses. And then white chlorella could also be applied to these other different types of cheeses, right? So we're thinking of feta, cream cheese, with the same kind of effect as GoldRella. Again, this would all be particularly for those vegan options. And on the right-hand side, we had an overall survey when it comes to kind of the different sensory evaluation of comparing the real cheddar, which is in light blue, vegan cheddar, which is in dark blue, with a control that has 0% of doesn't have any GoldRella, and then the 5, 10, 15%. So this kind of breaks down kind of the different types of sensory evaluations that we have here. The key thing that I do like seeing is that the overall liking and the mouthfeel are consistent with higher doses of GoldRella, which kind of support a lot of different types of products because I love to try a lot of different foods and new foods, and some of these plant-based foods are great. And in the past, I think 5 to 10 years have done leaps and bounds in development and kind of how they taste. But this kind of further supports kind of making those products more similar to the real thing as real cheddar, particularly. And here in the chart below is a sensory evaluation. The dotted green line is the jar, or so just about right scale. So that's what we were using actually to see, compare it to the control group of the cheeses. And then the different colors here are obviously the percentages of the different GoldRella used and the vegan cheddar and real cheddar. So you could see kind of the sensory evaluation compared to the green dotted line here. So if you want, yeah, more umami and savory flavors, more GoldRella would need to be added to this. Furthermore, with the vegan cheeses, it does support obviously providing more dietary fiber and protein. So with 15% GoldRella in the formula, it could provide up to 3 grams of protein per serving, 4% of the daily value of fiber, and up to 80% of the daily value of vitamin B12. It also helps in actually reducing the amount of saturated fat. So that's something to actually look for. And as well, it'll produce a little bit of minor fat, but also kind of maintain that creamy mouthfeel that a lot of people enjoy with cheese. Storage wise, it's pretty simple for up to a month. Low hardness and dry, and it does protect against moisture migration. And it does retain that original flavor and color, so up to 1 month. And also with age samples, so these were refrigerated for one month, and then they were reheated to at 450 degrees for 5 minutes, and to just kind of test exactly the melting points of these and how they melt. So we could see here in the bottom, compared to commercial vegan cheese and commercial real cheese, as well as a control group, how GoldRella at 5% and I'm sorry, this should actually be 15%. That's my apologies. And 10% will be applied over here. So generally it has a good melting spread. So we could see the better that the bigger the circle is, the better it is because it actually will spread better. So that's kind of important when it comes to different types of products that you're trying to make. Another key application that we have found for GoldRella particularly is in egg alternatives, which I found to be that market is actually increasing exponentially, and especially I guess now with the egg issues going on right now is probably an option for a lot of consumers. However, we did see that with adding about just 2%, up to 2% of GoldRella to vegan egg alternatives, and we could see here is basically a kind of a type of control that we usually see with these that are unfortunately sometimes pale colored or not. They don't look that flavorful, but just adding about 2% of GoldRella could make these kind of appear more like scrambled eggs while also adding more protein and fiber content. And here as well on the right-hand side, kind of the same evaluation that we did with the jar scale, so the just about right scale, comparing vegan egg, the standard vegan egg with the percentages, with different percentages of GoldRella added to these vegan eggs. We could see that adding GoldRella particularly enhances that umami flavor, and particularly kind of gets that egg color, that yolky egg color that everyone looks for. So it's something to look into. Moving forward, so these are for particularly meat alternatives. So for plant-based meat, and for plant-based meats and plant-based seafoods, so there are two types of particular processes to actually create these products. I'm sure you are aware with these extrusion process. So there is a low moisture extrusion process and the high moisture extrusion process. These are two different common ways of producing these alternative meats. And here on the right-hand side is just kind of the end result of what we see when kind of making these types of different products. Let's go into this next slide. And so what we did find is that white chlorella tends to be a good fit when it comes to using it with high moisture meat analogs, so HMMAs. And here kind of we did a control, kind of evaluating different types of actually vegan alternative meats. So it's a soy protein, but it's supposed to replicate a chicken breast or chicken tenders. So we did find that based on kind of the percentage of white chlorella included into these products, you could actually create different textures. So with the control, we do see that, they tend to be chewy, have a beanie type note sometimes, and the color is dark beige about. Adding the 5% of white chlorella to these types of products could actually make the texture feel more like a chicken breast, reduce that beanie note flavor while also adding some more umaminess. It also kind of changes the color a little bit more to a lighter beige than the dark beige. Whereas when including 10%, it has more of a texture of a chicken tender, so a little bit actually more, a little softer, less beanie notes, more umami flavors, and a lighter beige texture. And now furthermore, adding gluten as well to it kind of can make it a different type of texture, so it's a solid piece. It'll make it more hearty, reducing beanie notes, increasing umaminess, and so forth. Whereas we do see with GoldRella and the low moisture meat analogs, they are a good fit. And kind of we did the same process here, while adding 25% GoldRella to these types of products, and then seeing and comparing it versus control. So anywhere from 3 to 25%, it could reduce beanie notes, increase umaminess, and make a more yellowish type of beige color to these LMMAs. And lastly, with regards to the applications for GoldRella as well too, another one that we did test is actually with pea protein, TVP meatballs. So just 1% was added to that, as well as a soy protein fish balls. Fish balls may not be as popular here in the US, but they are very popular in Asia, hence why we tested these out. So 1% was added into 1% of GoldRella was added into these formulations, and it was shown to mask the beanie flavors, enhance the original flavor, increase saltiness without the sodium, and improve the texture as well too. Again, we use kind of the sensory evaluation scale to kind of compare the control to 1% GoldRella added to these meatballs. So we could see that it increases the umami flavor, the lingering flavor in the mouth, as well as some chewiness and hardiness to the product. So those are kind of key features. And as well as, the yellow color flavor as well, if you want with fish balls particularly. Again, this is really just dependent on what type of formulations you're looking for, but we found that these products are very flexible and can support various different types of applications. And lastly, I thought this was really neat. We are really concerned about sustainability as a company. And one of the things that we did find actually was the sustainability compared to different types of proteins that are produced, every day and every year. So compared to beef and legumes and wheat, the time for harvesting white chlorella and GoldRella is just a little less than a week. Our consumption is about less than half a liter to produce these products, and the land use is quite small as we use that closed cultivation system, as I mentioned. Now, I hope you guys had this was informative to you guys. And if you have any questions, please let me know. My info here is down here. You can reach us at info@daesang.com. Also search me up and in LinkedIn as John Tenorio. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, John. That was really informative. I do see that there is a question in the group chat, and it is about recording it. Yes, we have recorded it. This webinar will be available on YouTube, and we'll send that out to everyone that's registered. There is no certificate though for this. And let's see. Does anybody have any questions? I think that was the only one I saw. Okay. Okay, well, if anyone does have any questions, they can certainly send them to John. He can be reached on LinkedIn or at info@daesang.com. Oh, I do have, okay, that's fine. All right. Nope, that was not. That was just wait a minute, maybe there is. Let's make sure. Okay. All right, there are no other questions.
I see. Can we get this, or can I post it on Instagram page? Certificate.
Okay, are you talking about certificates for participating on this webinar? If it's a certificate for participating on this webinar, no, we do not provide any certificates.
We could provide certifications though for our products if needed. Well, we're happy to provide those.
Correct. Yes. Yes. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for participating. And as I said, once this is downloaded, we'll get it on the Philadelphia IFT YouTube channel. And you can also ask John any questions. And I'm getting some really great positive feedback from those that were online. Thanks again, everybody.
Thank you, everyone, and appreciate you all attending. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Hope you have a great afternoon.
Okay.
Thank you, John.
Have a good
Great
one,
job.
everyone.
Thank you, John.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Gary. Bye.